One of the strangest things about the channel Ben2FR is the way he designed his base. It's on stilts, with glass walls on either side. It's like it was built to keep an eye on the surrounding area, or to keep something out. This channel and its 9 uploads tell a really unnerving story for me. Like, imagine going out for a walk and passing by that one alleyway you have to glance down just in case, but this time, as you walk past, you see something, staring from the shadows. You run home to safety, lock the door, flip the lights on, but just down the hall next to your bedroom door. Did you just see it again? Ben is home, smelting some food and glass to fill in his window, which is strange. Is he just now finishing the build? He opens a book and starts to write over a series of single letters, I, over and over.
It's impossible. It's like 110 frowns that aren't frowns.
And while he grabs some torches, he seems to think for a moment about what to put next.
I feel like I am falling behind this world. Do you feel slower than you should be?
This is interesting. Ben seems to be pouring his feelings out right now, but there's also the previous line.
110 frowns that aren't frowns.
This description is physical. It doesn't quite fit the emotional feel of the others, but if we take Ben's base and its defense measures into consideration, it seems like something impossible is following him. Ben goes outside to light up the surrounding area while he keeps writing and checking his back.
I have to keep moving faster or...
But he doesn't seem to know what to say. He keeps placing torches and loops around his base until...
Everything's gonna leave me behind, Dave Greystone.
This took time for Ben to write out loud. Clearly it's something that weighs on him, but I think it also could help us understand his situation. Why would he be pouring so much emotion out right now? Usually this only happens after some traumatic event sparks it up. The way he describes something physical at the start, and the fact that he's built a base that no mob could access, even when a reverse door would do the trick. With a full torch array outside as the night falls, this isn't the first time Ben has done this. He's seen the thing following him, and he can't stop running. He built this base quickly, whether to sleep for a night or cook some food to keep his stamina going, so it's a rushed but efficient design. He turns and sees that a few torches have changed. The subtlest detail, but he notices right away. He tries to turn up his render distance, but even at 20, the fog is still hauntingly strong. In fact, it even seems like it's stuck at a distance of 7, something that keeps repeating. A 7-minute video with the title 7 pages written in his book. The render distance, even the size of his base, is 7 blocks wide. If there's a significance to it, we likely haven't seen why yet.
It's impossible. Do not worry about what's out there.
Then, as he walks inside to patch the window, there's a structure looming. 7 stone squares sitting in a line that weren't there when he smelted the glass. Something just put them there. He adds one final word to the last sentence. Now. Something just changed for Ben. Whether that's over the course of the events we just saw or not, it seems like something's weighing on him. Other than this impossible thing, why is he choosing to run? Why is he even still playing? Is he running from something, or is he looking for something? What does the structure mean? How did he even get there? There's a lot of questions raised by the way Ben is acting, but no answers. Yet, throughout these videos we may be able to understand just what Ben is going through, and it's a monster of a story. But one thing is very clear already. Ben is not alone here. The second video is frantic. It starts with Ben waking up at sunrise or sunset, which would fit the title, and he's moving faster. He quickly crafts some ladders to climb onto the roof of his base, where he's met with rain, and that stone structure still just sitting there like some sort of idle threat. But then he notices something. The video noise makes it harder to tell, but these brighter specks are, of course, the torches that he spent the last video placing in a spiral around his house. Torches that are now neatly lined up in an array. They were changed when he went to sleep. While he writes on the roof, it's a good time to mention a small detail. The pounding noise of the rain disappears when he's in the book menu, which is how it works in any offline single-player world, but it also feels eerie. There's no static, no typing sounds. It's all just silent as he writes his mind down. Along with that, why is he only using the book to type? There's a perfectly good chat system to use, yet he doesn't even press T. Does he not want something to see what he's writing? The book must also be safer. It pauses the game, so nothing can move when he's writing, not even himself. He goes back inside and starts breaking the furnaces. It looks like he's packing up to start moving again. This must be muscle memory at this point, which is how he notices the worst thing. His bed is gone, and he has no wool. It's really time to go.
Old Time Street.
his next goal. As he passes the stone structure, we can also see a weird feature of the world generation here. Time and time again while he keeps running, he passes noisy patches of stone and ore mixed in with the grass. He hunts animals for food and runs through some hills, plains, a dark oak forest. Except, let's hold it for a second. There is a major discrepancy between his health bar, the old one from alpha versions of Minecraft, and this dark oak biome. It was only updated to include a hunger bar in beta 1.8, a whole 2 years before the dark oak forest was added in release version 1.7.2. And there's that number again, 7. Still, he keeps running and hunting, paying no attention to the oddities of this world. But that noise grabs his attention immediately. One of the many cave noises in the game that will occasionally play when you're in a cave. Ben is standing on a mountain. Something isn't right about it, yet he scans the horizon and keeps moving. It seems like he's heard this before and doesn't like the sound.
I should have found sheep by now.
At least 4 biomes worth of travel and no wool in sight. But he does find something. This time, he checks it up close, which makes it a little easier to see that this time, it's just a bit longer. Did you catch that? Just around the other side of the structure, some pitch black, silent thing, ducking just out of view. Ben does what any sensible person would. Yet when he turns back, nothing is there. Nothing he can see anyway. And the video cuts. We're met with a very ominous shape in the distance. It's a brick pyramid. A structure which only generated in InfDev version 201.00227-1, an update from February 2010, yet it's just sitting there. Ben climbs it, looks around for anything else weird, and the video ends as he jumps into its hollow, dark insides. But hold on, I want to bring your attention to something Ben said in episode 1.
And even here, where I can get away, there's that thing.
Get away from what? Supposedly he's running from whatever this creature around the corner is, but this line suggests there's something else too. Something that happened, or something he did. A dark memory is on his mind that makes life feel fuzzy. He's haunted by it, and something else is haunting him too. Ben places a torch, then lights up the perimeter of the hollowed-out pyramid. It's much darker now, and since he couldn't find wool on his journey, he's stuck here for the whole night. He scans the walls as he passes them, noticing holes in a few spaces, potential exit points if anything bad happens. There's also a cave, sitting underneath the pumpkin patch. He walks down to light it up as well, putting torches on the right side of the wall, and as he smells some more food, the pounding rain starts to get under his skin. He goes over to a nearby hole to patch it up. And sees a dark shape scanning the area around the pyramid, a mere 50 blocks away. Yet it just keeps looking around. It may not have noticed him yet. He patches up the hole and, oddly enough, tries to keep it in view the whole time.
It goes through when I was
Something he's learned about the entity, which, if true, means Ben just blocked off his only weapon, being able to see the creature. He fills in the other holes and scouts out the area while plugging the final one, but it's not there anymore. Who knows where it is now? A deep imploding noise from right outside, just on top of the pyramid, something that literally shakes him to the core.
rigged up there.
Blocks start breaking in the ceiling at huge distances from each other. No normal entity could travel that fast. He keeps his eyes glued to it until he realizes they're breaking behind him as well. It's after him. The cave is the only option. He jumps into the water, slowly swimming through as he runs out of air and starts to drown. Yet he makes it out and into a small cavern. He runs up the side, rushing to grab some redstone and gold, and bolts down a tunnel straight into a dead end. He digs up into the ceiling, covering his path with cobblestone as he digs out a tiny alcove for himself. It's quiet now.
It shouldn't be able to do that for great things.
He uses the gold to make a clock, likely to track the day-night cycle better, which means he's going to wait out the night in this tiny underground shelter. Or at least until it's safe to leave.
Things are changing and I am scared.
The entity is adapting on the fly. The rules Ben may have... Then the furnace light goes out, and he's left in the dark. The video cuts to black as a block breaks directly under his feet. But Ben says this thing shouldn't be able to do that. This raven, as Dawn from my Patreon called it. How and why is it changing its nature? We were likely first introduced to the raven through the stone structure and the redstone torches it placed in episode 1. What they mean specifically is a mystery, but if it was there, could it not have attacked Ben in that moment? Or did he just get lucky by not being found? After that, in episode 2, before we see a trace of it around the corner, Ben hears it off in the distance. It's completely silent except for small bursts of noises so loud they sound like an explosion. Is this how it hunts? By blowing up walls and structures? Or does it want to haunt its prey? What if it's a patient creature? The complete opposite of Ben's rush to get away. What if everything it's doing has been to scare Ben? To never let him truly rest as he spends all his energy on defending against a threat that just watches him? For now, until he has nothing left to spend. This would track with the supposed changes in nature by the Raven. It couldn't break blocks, now it can. Ben believes it doesn't move if you stare at it, and hopefully he isn't proven wrong. One thing's for sure though, we can safely assume what we know might just be what it wants us to think. Ben stands in the dark, right under the hole that was dug out from underneath him, but nothing is there. Nothing except a redstone torch on the opposite end of the cave. Behind him though, which was a dead end earlier, another section of cave has opened up. He slowly delves inside, constantly scanning for anything hiding in the dark, but the cave opens up to the surface, and in the open field where the pyramid used to be, there's the stone structure again, and now a second one too. His torches are still scattered around, but all traces of brick have just vanished, and as he investigates the second structure, he freezes up, seeing something move in the distance. As he starts to follow whatever he saw, he turns around to see the structures have completely disappeared from right behind his back. Is he walking into a trap?
That's you too.
Regardless, he follows, watching this thing as it stands near a very odd piece of world generation. In fact, everything about the world in these videos looks so alien. As he trails this thing through a forest, he hears that cave noise again. Despite being on the surface, and it seems he's too focused to even notice.
I don't know how to tell him.
So, whoa, hold on. Tell him what? Tell who what? Was Ben just following a player? Someone that he's scared to talk to? If so, it once again seems like Ben is still haunted by something in the past. He's running, and he may have just nearly been found. Before he confronts this stranger though, we're finally given a very important piece to the puzzle. That clicking transition noise has never accompanied a cut before, and neither has a quick blink of black, which signifies more than just a simple few minutes, right? Based on the difference in hotbars and the general progression they suggest, this must be a flashback from the past, where Ben2FR and someone new, Archie T, stare down some old mahogany shadow of a house that emanates a backwards hymn from its misshapen windows.
Was this in the cash notes?
Last year.
Last year, something definitely happened in the past, and now we know when. They talk for a moment about what happened, giving us tidbits of information.
When we all played over the summer.
I think that's why I lost so distant.
There's no way. That all started with the Redmond structure.
Ben types out sorry, but deletes it, and the video ends. So, what can we figure out from this? Firstly, we have a time frame of 1 year ago during the summer, which means this flashback is likely happening around summertime as well. Notice how Ben says this though. It was here last year, not we built it last year. Somehow, Ben saw this structure when something went down, and judging by the fact that he's standing far away from it now, it doesn't feel like a welcoming place. We also meet Archie, with a blue skin and a very multicolored name tag, but that may just be VHS artifacts. Ben and Archie seem to have gone through the same experience that started with this structure. Archie is surprised though. He's asking questions about it all, so he may not know as much compared to Ben about what this house is and what happened with this mystery third person, L. Ben knows more than he's letting on. And why does he pull back his apology? Ben isn't telling us something, but can that last? If he's following Archie in the present to confront him, how is this situation going to unfold? And what even happened that summer? Video 5. What the hell did we do? It's typed in the same frantic way as when Ben stared down the Raven earlier, yet in the video itself, he starts by typing very slowly, just staring at that same line. I don't know how to tell him. With the added context of that small moment between Ben and Archie, something about this feels larger now. He just keeps typing I over and over until Archie finds him, peering over from behind the book.
Dude, what's up, man?
Hey,
Come on. Hey,
how'd you get this far?
the trails. Easy slippery.
This is a pretty in-depth mechanic to use, showing that Archie plays the game quite a bit. By following already loaded chunks, you can essentially find anyone in the world like a digital crumb trail. So he joined Ben's world, which seemed to be in single player earlier, based on nothing moving when he opened his book. Yet now, Archie can.
You missed your test in the party. WPF is up here.
But I never knew.
There's that name again. Elle, who supposedly moved away or didn't?
Did you ever go look into their house?
No, they probably sold it. That's literally trespassing.
You dollars.
Don't start.
I'm going to send you something.
When was the last time you slept?
Just watch it.
As Archie supposedly watches the video, Ben scans the horizon once again. It's become second nature to him to check his... It's nearby. Ben races to get Archie's attention.
Is that Elle's place?
Here, we need to go.
They run off faster than they have before, and the video cuts. There is a detail I haven't mentioned yet. Each of these videos has a description. They're not very big, but I believe they're crucial going forward. Video 1. We couldn't. Simple, but it shows that this unknown looming event in Ben's past is all over this story. Video 2. It really was there, wasn't it? This could be about that entity that Ben saw, except haven't we already deduced that Ben has seen it before? Video 3. I've heard that sound before. The way it's written feels like he hasn't put the sound and the raven together, yet he hears it often, right? Video 4. Sorry I don't say much, this is hard to see again. This one makes a bit more sense. Of course, watching these videos again while uploading would be hard, but even then, Ben seems talkative in writing. Even when he started using the chat, he typed message after message about Elle going missing. Something isn't quite adding up here, especially with the 5th description saying, "It was a year ago, I was trying to move on, it can't happen again." The punctuation is missing, and it sounds anxious, but we've seen Ben type anxiously before. He doesn't bother to use the space button, and the contents of this 5th video are in the present, or at least the furthest point forward. Why mention it being a year ago? The channel description reads, "This was some time ago, but I go back to watch these here and there. It's nice." It's nice. None of this has seemed particularly nice so far. It's been stressful, especially for Ben. Unless things start to look better later down in the story, nothing so far has suggested nice or comfort. What I think is happening here is that Ben isn't the one uploading to this channel, or at the very least he's changed. The way these descriptions are all written just feels like someone else is showing us these videos. Someone who's heard the Raven, but maybe not seen it. Could it be Archie? Elle? We'll just have to keep looking. And video 6 looks to be exactly what Ben sent Archie before they took off running. Ben stands in front of Elle's house, in the middle of nowhere, shooting with some old camera. You'll notice this house is exactly the same one they found in-game about a year ago based on the timeline so far, which makes this all the more ominous. How could this be in their world? Even if Elle built it, they can't be playing on the same world as they were, right? And look at the state of the building. Supposedly just a year ago people lived here, but now it's old and decrepit. It looks like the wind could blow it down at any moment. Ben goes inside to find even more of a mess. Things have fallen apart and rotted. The wallpaper around the stairs is a forgotten memory, but then as he turns a corner to go up more stairs, this happens. The footage loops 3 times, and for each one the wind dies down from a howl to a whisper, leaving the final loop silent as Ben walks down the corridor. And then, we're outside again. But the footage is much darker. Is it later in the day, or is this something unnatural? What even happened here? Well, as Ben first walked up some stairs, the footage was already choppy, jumping a bit to the left or forward, so all this cutting could just be video artifacts. But could they not be edited out? The first flight of stairs even looks to be similar to the next 3, but maybe just 1 floor down. So could Ben have been climbing to the top of the house, maybe to explore everything to find any single clue on what's happened to Elle, maybe to make sure there's nothing in there? It's not certain. What is certain is Ben has seen this house in-game already. He knows there's some sort of connection, even down to the chimney and the window placement. It's the exact same place. So is the way he edited this some sort of warning for Archie, or some message we haven't been able to understand yet? What do the 3 loops mean? And on that note especially, what is inside this house to cause so many troubles for Ben, Archie, and Elle? The video finishes with a notebook in the woods, reading, "We couldn't save them." But Ben crosses out "we," which likely references Archie and him, replacing it with an "I," which once again loops the scratching 3 times. That's no mere coincidence. But Archie's reaction when Ben sends him the video was only about Elle's house. He didn't ask about this notebook. He didn't even mention it. So this must be something added after everything we've seen so far, as the videos were posted. So why is it important? I couldn't save them. Well, the 7th video might just have some of the answers we're looking for. The video opens with a book of rules. You can't speak in here, and never go left. Ben closes it, and we see someone named Ectric. This is likely Elle's username, spelling electric if you put them together. Regardless, Ben follows them very closely. Elle seems more certain about where they're going than he does. They walk through a strange tunnel system. It's pure stone hallways, turning every so often, being broken up by stairwells going up and down, an interesting pattern if you've been paying attention. They see lighting glitches all over random walls, unnatural breaks in the normal Minecraft code. As per the rules though, they don't speak. Ben just follows Elle, who seems to know much more about this place given that they handed Ben the book. A few minutes in and the pattern of corridors changes, with a nether brick line piercing through the wall and going down the hallway. They look at it for a moment, but continue on up and down stairs, right turns on right turns. This is until Elle starts breaking the walls and ceilings, just once for each. Once on a dead end, they break through to see if anything is above, but the second time, Ben gets curious. He walks over to the wall that Elle broke and filled in, and despite them nodding their head to not look behind the block, he breaks through the cobble with his bare fist to see what this place really is. A pitch black abyss, filled in only by the outer walls of other corridors, all floating above the dark, just like the stone he stands on. So hold on, where even are we? Last we saw Ben and Archie, they were running from that imploding raven noise after Archie finally found him. So along with us seeing footage of Elle, this must be in the past. This is probably our first glimpse at the event that the two argue about. We know at this point that Ben is looking for something, not just running. It's a race. And what does he keep trying to find? That stone house. He went to Elle's house in real life and found it a while back in game. In the house, he repeatedly went upstairs, in rooms that mix between dark and light. What if this stone labyrinth has been under it the whole time? Wherever it pops up, this abyss follows. Ben covers the hole and rushes back to Elle, who is already climbing some stairs. At this point, they seem to be too distracted to even notice Ben's message in chat, even though it broke one of their rules. Then Elle sees something to the left, a corridor much darker than we've seen thus far, ending with what looks like a small doorway. Ben follows as Elle slowly creeps up to it, crouching when they gesture to him. The backwards hymn that plays all throughout the video gets louder, but Ben keeps following until he's almost had enough.
And you tell me what you're doing here. What is the place even supposed to?
They're gone, just like that. And for the first time, Ben hears it. He begins to run. Until it cuts to present Ben and Archie once more. But now, we know much more than we did. Piece by piece, things are making more sense.
How is that their place? Like, it makes no sense. They moved last year and that thing has to be decades old.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, because you wouldn't shut the hell up.
Ben and Archie have been arguing. I mean, it makes sense. Ben was avoiding him for so long, chasing the house or whatever he's looking for without his friend. Archie had to use game-breaking info just to find him, so no wonder he's angry. But Ben not shutting the hell up? Does that reference Ben talking in chat right before Elle disappeared, or something else around the same time?
When did you go and look?
Well, you better go out first.
At first. So Ben's been to that house multiple times. I think now we can confirm that he's been searching for its in-game equivalent, which is likely where the stone corridors are too. So does that mean he's been looking for Elle this whole time? The two keep running over that weird stone generation bug until ahead of them appears what looks to be the Farlands. That can't be right? How far would they have had to travel? But we see what may have caused it. Ben looks up at the house, sitting on the ledge a little ways up. This is what he was looking for.
We can't shelter here.
It's so empty.
Similar.
We see again that Ben knows more than he's letting on, but Archie isn't satisfied with that.
Why did Elle leave?
Ben types out I, but holds it.
You were closer by then, right? Shouldn't you have known what was happening?
I don't know if they had a choice.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
And the video just ends. So, Ben still isn't telling us everything, but honestly at this point it just sounds like he doesn't know how. He still doesn't know how to tell him. He's almost scared of talking about what happened. The description of this episode reads, "I was really fighty or hostile when I could have calmed down. I was missing so much. They were missing so much." Is he talking about his time in the hallways with Elle or this argument? Ben didn't even seem particularly hostile in this video. He's certainly become much more determined, almost like the roles have switched for him. Instead of following Elle at the start of the video, about a year ago, he's now making the path for Archie. He's changed a bit, which fits the title of video 8. Not only is Ben changing, but we're about to see this whole dilemma change into something much crazier. Ben was fashioning a simple lava moat outside. He types in, "I know," but deletes it. He steps inside to see the hallway and a dim orange fog inside. Archie is almost paralyzed.
There's nothing behind the church, right?
Ben walks around to the backside to see that it's true. There is no hallway behind the church. Interesting word choice.
It's just a wall.
The video cuts to Ben writing, stuck on the word "I" once again. This time, though, he says something.
It's blinding me, and I stepped up, so I walked past.
He closes the book and steps outside to see Archie staring at the sunset.
Do you ever wonder what's out there? After?
Like, after.
Yeah.
Archie goes on to explain a philosophy he's picked up over the last year after losing Elle. A belief that after 100 years of struggle in life, and I guess when death comes, you go down a little further to some other layer, waiting to be mended into something again.
You start again, almost exactly the same, but closer.
This is our first real glimpse at Archie's inner world after Elle disappeared, past his short temper. It sounds like this has lines of regret throughout it, wanting to change what you've done, which is what Ben comments on.
Would you change anything?
I don't know if we remember what needs changing.
But if you did, and you what you did, and how people saw it,
Maybe once,
once, why?
because I think I would see what I already know. We don't make the changes. The changes make us.
This is partly where the title comes from, but we can dig a little deeper. I think there are also changes or differences in how the two reacted to Elle moving or disappearing. While Ben spent so much time on solving and figuring out just what happened to Elle and whether it was his fault or not, Archie instead stepped back, read about religion and philosophy, and came to terms with what happened, with what was now missing from both of their lives. A friend, now gone. That final quote sums it all up. Archie made changes, but the changes made Ben. Interestingly, in episode 1, Ben contrasted Archie's message of "Do you ever wonder what's out there?" with his own "It's impossible to not worry about what's out there." They've grown up in their own ways, healthy or not. He writes again, looping back to that first thing he said in video 1. It's a completed text now, reading, "It blinded me as I stepped up, so I walked past, and behind me it flickered. It's impossible. It's like 100 eyes and 10 frowns that aren't frowns." Is he talking about the Raven?
We should get inside.
They close off the entrance, and Ben starts to make coal for some torches, but Archie still has something on his mind that he can't let go.
Why did Elle leave?
Again, Ben holds his eye, but whatever Archie said opened him up a little. He trusts Archie a bit more.
I think I did something wrong.
No shit.
It's all coming out now, except Ben notices that the door is being broken down. They rush to break all their torches, hiding in the dark of their balcony. As we see the Raven peering into their house. Ben gestures to Archie to make a run for it down the corridor. But whatever they find down there, this thing will be following. Ben and Archie hide just outside of a corridor, on a platform well above this abyss of stone and bricks that we can see in all its grandeur now. We just have to hope it doesn't notice the cobblestone.
You can't sneak in here, and always go left, torches on the right.
This third rule wasn't originally there. Ben added it to make sure he can see what's going on this time. He already has a habit of torching on the right. This might be a bad call. Archie tosses the book back, using it to talk in here.
Why?
Ben throws it back empty, but Archie insists.
Why does this matter so much?
What's wrong with you?
I want to know why you're going this far, in a game of all things.
I put in enough days to know this is on me. I couldn't help them right. I couldn't follow them right.
You were just following. This can't be on you. You saw what was tearing them up well before all this. If you tried, you tried.
Then Archie says what he really thinks.
Some people can't be helped anymore. got him.
You didn't see it happen.
Neither did you. Right. Archie starts to dig through the walls, and this time Ben lets him take the lead. He's letting him walk right into danger, but it is a dead end. There's only one place to go. They keep dropping down further and further past what feels like too many layers of corridors, all intersecting and intertwining. Ben probably can't even process it all. For that one small view of the dark abyss to become something like this, I'm sure he's never considered things larger than himself until now. Until they find a way to the bottom. The cave floor of this old stone house. An impossible place. A cavern of wires and old stone growths. But before they go any further, Ben stops Archie and hands him the book.
Today, I want you to answer honestly about something.
Alright. It's midnight, in a raging thunderstorm. You have nothing around, no trees, no buildings, just an empty field. What would you do? This is just mean. Why would Ben want Archie to answer honestly about a random hypothetical like this? A thunderstorm in a field? The only connection I see is to Elle's username making electric. So is this a gauge of what Archie thinks about Elle? Is it some way for Ben to read into Archie? Everything you could have wrote at the bottom of that damn hellscape and you wrote, what would you do? What would you do? I don't know what I'd do. I haven't known what to do since this all happened. We lost Elle and you just kept running away. Running away and I had to follow you, pick up your pieces, help you stop and take a breath for once. Try to tell you that maybe if you put in the time, it can get better. But you didn't want to hear that, did you? Yeah, maybe I was harsh. So what? Do you want an apology? An answer? Would you rather I just didn't follow you? Didn't try to find you? What sort of friend would that make me? You're missing for days, man. Off chasing this impossible... They're gone. I'm sorry I didn't... I've just never been able to figure out what this question means. And then he apologizes. We were fighting not 5 minutes prior and he just says sorry. This just always means a lot to me. It was the last thing he said. I keep coming back. This was some time ago, but I go back and watch these here and there. It's nice to know that each time I find something that I missed. Something that helps me understand what he was going through or what even happened. It's why I made this video this time. It's a different approach, you know? Changes happen and we change. And also, I just found a video of Elle asking Ben the same question he asked me. What do you do? I don't have the part where Ben answers anymore, but I couldn't forget it if I tried. He answered, I dance. All the videos are in the description. Maybe you can find something I didn't. I just hope he found whatever he was looking for, wherever he went. This just can't be the bottom of the rabbit hole.